We're going to jump into the top 5 stories this week. The number 5 top story this week is I deleted my home internet. It's from KR, June 23rd, tech territory. 17 comments, 5,413 sats. Keyan, what's this?
Yeah, KR. If folks don't know KR, he likes things to be. He likes to experiment quite a bit, and most of the experimenting is an attempt to take things in direction such that they simplify. That's kind of how I describe KR, and I've known KR for basically as long as Stacker.News has existed, and that's kind of his vibe. And so it's cool seeing he's been doing more of the stuff in the realm of like his like lifestyle, and he's been writing about it on Stacker.News. And in this case, he deleted his home internet, and he's only using his I think it's cell phone is what he's doing, and he says he does this periodically with a variety of services. And just the latest one is his internet, but he said he's deleted bank accounts and credit cards and phone numbers. There's also like a stoicism exercise that if anyone's familiar with stoicism, they might have read about more frequently. The example is that you take a week and you like only live on rice and beans, and you see how that is, and you realize that it's not that bad, and that you can take it or leave it, and therefore you have like less like loss aversion around like luxury more generally. And so I don't know if KR is channeling the Stoic philosophers, but this reminds me a lot like that. I mean, he says he's on his Canadian phone plan, which is only $20 a month, and he gets 1 gigabyte a month of internet, and so he says he only really uses it for emergencies, and really can't do anything uh, that intensive on his phone. Um, yeah, and he just writes about that experience. Um, and also one of the more fun things that he discovered while doing this is how many like habits and patterns he has that are not even conscious. He says he'll regularly like open his laptop and attempt to get his internet working, like kind of forgetting that
Mm.
he had chosen to shut it off, just because like I'll do that often with websites where I'll just
Yeah.
like mindlessly type in like certain websites in the URL bar and go visit them without even thinking, just when I have a moment where I'm distracted or something. And it sounds like he has that experience with the using the internet generally, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that's
Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone
pretty
to
awesome.
I know you told me before you like in the early days of like after college and stuff you've gone pretty hardcore. But have you ever done this here recently? I know for you, you're pretty frugal. Um,
Yeah,
do you
we
do
have.
this?
I haven't done. I don't think I've done. I don't think I've done something like this, where I got rid of my internet. I think I always had internet, even when I was in college. It wouldn't even have occurred to me to get rid of internet. I think it might be interesting to live off of mobile, like hotspot internet, and see how much I don't need another internet subscription through my fiber provider. That might be interesting. Um, I've always had cell service for the most part. I don't think I ever got rid of stuff like that. Those I always took as like essentials, like food, and like some kind of shelter. So I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever thought to get rid of them, but it's pretty cool to think about it, because I bet you'd be okay. I bet you don't need, if you're not like doing like online gaming or
Right.
watching a lot of streaming video.
Right.
You know, text based services are pretty low bandwidth, so
Totally.
yeah,
Looks like we have
I don't know.
It's Real Fake had the top comment. Said inspiring thanks might be able to integrate this kind of experiment into my ProNect. I will give it some thought at least. Good luck and keep us posted. Scourge said there was a time when I read a lot of news. My kids were really little at this point, so I may have been just trying to entertain myself while dealing with babies. But it certainly wasn't a good use of my time. Then I heard this line by Talib that you shouldn't bother reading the news because if it's important, you'll hear about it, and otherwise, it's a waste of time. I agree with that for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
Great Ruby said I find Bell Fibe internet to be pretty good. Had a lot of problems with Rogers when we lived in the city. Sybil Stacker said, "Yo, that's crazy, but kudos to you. Do you think you're gonna stick with it?" Kara said, "Yeah, I'll try a couple of months and see the effect it's having on my life. I'm cautiously optimistic that this might actually be sustainable." Yeah, I feel like because KR gets out a lot, like he works out a lot, so you would think it would be good for him because he likes
Yeah.
to be in nature. So that makes
Oh yeah,
sense.
big runner, big hiker.
Yeah,
Yeah, very much so.
yeah, he'd be like the perfect guy for this. I remember when I went on my retreats, we didn't. They took all our phones and everything, so we didn't have internet for like 3 days or 4 days. I forget how many days it was. I remember I
Hmm.
told you, dude, like it was
Yeah.
shocking. Like to come back to society and like see like everybody on their phones. Well, first to see all the messages first was shocking, and then to see everybody like because I went straight to the airport. I remember going straight to the airport after that, and then seeing everybody's phones, seeing everybody on their phones, and like seeing. I remember like visually seeing people on their phones, and then I just came from a spiritual retreat, so it was a different like kind of like mental switch. That was weird.
Mhm.
It was like it was weird. I don't know how to describe it. I would definitely recommend that. That'll like mess with your. It'll. I don't know how to explain it. It does something to your mind a little bit. I don't know how to
Mm.
explain it. But yeah,
Oh,
so
I
I
think that'd be.
agree. That's the kind of shock I think you're because at that point you're like you're not checking anything, and the only thing you can do is talk to the people around you, and guess what happens? You literally just talk, and the world like nothing happens. Like you just don't hear about the news, you don't hear about anything, and you just like talk, and you find out like you just sit in like with yourself. You sit in with all your troubles. You have to
Yeah.
you sort out your problems. Turns out
Yeah. And you do the kind of the thing we
we used
were,
to do.
you know, our genes spent a lot of time doing, which is just hanging out with other people and talking to them
Yeah, and then
and
you
entertaining.
you sort out your problems with other people, people that you trust, right? Like that's why you have the river rule
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and then you it's cool.
Yeah.
But if you had, but see, if we
That's
had
cool.
our phones, you wouldn't be able to reflect later on that night when you go to bed, and the first thing you would check is your phone, and then it would throw everything off. So that's why removing the phones is so important. So
Yeah. It's a huge distraction.
yeah. Anyways, good on KR for sharing that with us.